Okay, we're starting a new chapter. Oh, I thought I could make that bigger. Okay, I guess that's going to be about as big. Oh, there we go. Okay, actually we're starting a new unit. Unit 3 is about building relationship skills, and Chapter 8 is about respecting others. That's what we're going to start with. Some of the things that you're going to learn in this chapter, you will learn what it means to respect yourself and others. You will learn why respect is important in daily life, what can happen when respect is lacking in your life, how to develop self-respect, ways to show respect at home, school, in your community, and for your environment, terms to learn that you need to look up, the vocabulary words and the definitions. So the vocabulary words are community, empathy, graffiti, prejudice, respect, stereotype, tact, and vandalize. And those words can be found in this chapter. For example, respect is right here, and the definition follows this word. It says here, respect. What does it mean? What does it mean to respect someone? Respect means showing regard for the worth of someone or something. It also involves showing regard for oneself. When Leo's high school coach asked him to organize sports equipment in the gym, Leo is glad to help out. Over the years, Mr. Jansen has earned Leo's respect by treating him and other school athletes with fairness and consideration. Coach Jansen has the authority to treat his sports team fairly or roughly, but he chooses to treat players with regard for their worth. In turn, he earns his players' respect by his actions. Respect for authority comes from understanding that true authority figures take charge of the care of others. Without someone in charge, you can't run the family, a school, or a country. Could you imagine that? Having no one in charge, what kind of chaos there would be going on? You also gain respect by your actions. When you refuse to be pressured into going against your values, for instance, you send a message to others that you demand their respect. Respect also means showing regard for all forms of property and the environment. Respect for other people's property means you understand that their property is an extension of themselves. Respect for the environment means you show regard for keeping your community safe and clean. So if you're going to McDonald's or Burger King, or you're going to the gas station and getting one of those big slurpy things, like icy things, I don't even know what they're called. I never drink those. But if you're going there and you throw it down on the ground and on someone's property, that's not respecting someone else's property. And more than likely, they've probably worked many years to have that property, to own that property. Okay, the next section talks about the need for respect. Respect is the key in all areas of life, from friendships to international cooperation. When people show respect and common courtesy to each other, they help. I go to the next page here. They help make life easier and more positive. Whether at home, in the classroom, at work, or on the streets and highways, acting respectful makes your world a better place. And you guys are starting to not be around adults as much as you used to be either. Maybe you're allowed to go after school, walk to someone's house, a friend's house, or you're able to walk to the park after school, or going to Taco Bell or McDonald's. And you should show respect as you're going out, whether you're at home or wherever you're at. Okay, respecting yourself is another section. Self-respect means valuing yourself. You show self-respect when you treat your own life and body as deserving of worth. Caring enough about yourself to be your very best also shows self-respect. So caring enough about yourself to be your very best also shows self-respect. That's why I keep, I don't know, I guess complaining at you about being your absolute best in school. You know, like if you're a C student, I want you to make yourself your very best and try to get B's and A's. Or if you are just getting D's, all D's, maybe try to get all C's or above. So, you know, try to make yourself your very, very best. And that shows self-respect. And maybe that's why you don't get good grades, because you're not respecting yourself. Okay, the next sentence says, so does avoiding what could hurt you physically, emotionally, and ethically. That's why it hurts you to take part in self-destructive behavior such as drug or alcohol abuse. So I'm just going to read that one again. That's why it hurts you to take part in self-destructive behavior such as drug or alcohol abuse. People with self-respect have healthy self-esteem. Self-respect shows in the way they take care of their health, develop their natural skills and abilities, and make friends who bring out the best in each other. Okay, so that's what I want you to write in your notes. Respecting yourself. And I want you to write, number 1, take care of your health. Number 2, develop your natural skills and abilities. And number 3, make friends who bring out the best in each other. And if you need to pause the video to write that down, now would be the time. So in what ways have you tried to show that you respect yourself? Do you eat well? Do you exercise? Do you get outside? Get some vitamin D from the sun? Hopefully you're saying yes right now. Okay, the next section says, when respect is missing, teens who lie, cheat, or steal show little respect for themselves. Combined with the fear, combined with the fear of being caught for negative actions, their behavior may lead to guilt and respect, as well as many other serious consequences. Family members show love and concern for teens by setting limits and establishing guidelines and discipline that can help a teen show respect for themselves and others. It's easy to see when people fail to respect themselves or other people. Negative pressure from others, physical violence, and vandalism of property are just a few examples of a lack of respect. And I remember being, I don't know, I was probably 5 or 6 years old, and I was at my cousin's house, and I loved elephants. I thought they were the cutest thing ever. And I stole one of my cousin's little elephants, and it was probably like an inch. It was like 1 by 1, an inch by 1 inch. It was a tiny little thing. And I remember playing with it in my bedroom, and I can remember this so clearly too. And I'm telling you, this is a long time ago. And my mom walked in my bedroom, and she was like, "Oh, where'd you get that?" And I was like, "Oh, well, my cousin," I said my cousin's name, "gave it to me." And she was like, "That's kind of weird." Like, I must have looked really guilty because my mom did not believe me. And she kept asking me, and finally, out of respect for myself, I hope, I told my mom that I took that from her. So my mom put that thing in the kitchen window. She made me call my cousin, which lived over an hour away, and she made me tell my cousin that I took it, that I stole it from her, and that I would never do that again, and that I had to apologize and say I was sorry. And then my mom left that thing in the kitchen window, and it felt like a year that it sat there, because every time I walked by, I thought, "Oh my gosh, I stole that. I feel so bad. I'll never ever do that again." But it was probably like a month before I saw my cousin again. But every time that reminded me of that. So I never took anything again. So I guess I learned my lesson, which was a good thing. Okay, sorry about that. announcements were going off. Not a perfect video. Okay, the next section is called Stereotypes and Prejudice. When respect is missing, additional effects, stereotypes, and prejudice are often present. A stereotype is a belief that an entire group of people fit a fixed common pattern, that they're all alike in certain ways. Persons with disabilities, older men and women, and homeless people often are stereotyped. Some people fail to see these others as individuals. Instead, they see them as a group sharing the same characteristics. And I know a lot of people are like, well, what do you teach now? And I tell them middle school, and sometimes they stereotype middle schoolers. So hopefully we can turn that around and make it to where people don't say that. I want them to know how good you guys are, how good middle schoolers are, and how kind and caring that you can all be, and how hardworking and have good work ethics. I want people to understand that. Okay, next paragraph says stereotypes often lead to prejudice. When people dislike or hurt others because of their differences, they show prejudice, an unfair or biased opinion. Often it's a judgment against a person or group made with lack of knowledge.
Teachers, please check your teacher mailboxes. There have been some things placed in them. Please check them as soon as possible. Thank you.
Okay, so prejudice, an unfair or biased opinion. Often it's a judgment against a person or group made with lack of knowledge of the correct facts. For example, prejudice may be directed against people because of their race, religion, gender, male or female, or economic status. A person's age or disabilities are also sometimes used as a basis for prejudice. Rather than smoothing the path to common ground and understanding prejudice causes people to distrust and hate without just cause. People who are on the receiving end of the prejudice often have feelings of anger, frustration, and sometimes despair. Some people act on these feelings. How do you want to be treated? No doubt you want people to discover and respect who you are inside as a person. And on the side here, I guess I cut some of this off here. I didn't mean to. No, I guess I got it all on there. It looked like it for a second. It says overcoming stereotypes and prejudice. The best way to overcome stereotypes and prejudice is to learn more about the people you come in contact with in your community. Here are some actions that you can take. Learn about the cultures and background of people around you. Knowledge leads to understanding and can help get rid of stereotypes and prejudice. Try to identify problems with stereotypes and prejudice in your school and neighborhood and what causes these problems. Then work on solutions with others. Identify language that is offensive. Down here on this one right here. Identify language that is offensive to people or groups in your area. Avoiding offensive language smooths the way to acceptance and understanding and helps ease stereotypes and prejudice. And the last one, remove or help others remove offensive graffiti when you see it. Wiping out graffiti helps eliminate the fuel that often ignites stereotypes and prejudice. Okay, next page. It says respect your community. A community consists of a group of people with common interests who live in a certain area. And we live in a very small community because a lot of people that live here, they want to live in a small community. Look around your community. What evidence of respect and pride do you see in public spaces? Are sidewalks and streets, parks, playgrounds, libraries, and recreational centers clean and well maintained? Yes, I'd say so. Are they in despair and littered with trash? No. Most people pick up their trash and keep it pretty clean around here. Respecting your community involves doing your part to take care of it. This includes disposing of trash in appropriate places. It means refusing to vandalize or destroy public or private property. It means refusing to paint, graffiti, unwanted drawings, and writing on walls and other property. When you respect your community, you take care of public property, whether library books or playgrounds, as if it were your own. It's part of respect, isn't it? See, look at that trash right there. Who wants to live in a community that looks like that? So I think we should all work together to take care of that. And that is one of my beliefs. I believe that we should, if you drop something, you should pick it up. And it would be so easy if everybody picked up what they dropped. Okay, it says here, at home. Your home was the first community you ever lived in. Your home is where you learn to respect yourself and your family. As a teen, you show respect at home when you act with consideration for the feelings of family members, including differences of opinions and others' mistakes. Take initiative and help out willingly around the house. Clean up after yourself. Oh, that's very important. Clean up after yourself. Take responsibility for your actions and not blame others for your mistakes. Follow rules, including curfews, and tell the truth about what you do and who you're with. Treat the possessions of others with care. And I think, not only at home, I think when you go to someone's house, I think you should also follow those directions or those little simple rules. So showing respect at home helps make life easier for everyone, including yourself. What are other ways you can show respect to your parents, siblings, and other family members? Okay, the next section is about at school. Most of the ways you show respect at home also apply at school. Chris's actions express respect when he makes time for friends, listens considerately to teachers, completes assignments on time, and follows school rules. Respect involves taking an interest in your classmates' interests and activities. So, like when one of your classmates is talking, showing respect and being quiet and listening to them. You may not agree on issues such as political or religious views, but you can show respect by listening. You also show respect when you're tactful with others. Tact is communicating something difficult without attacking another's feelings. To be tactful, you need empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand what someone else is experiencing. You empathize by putting yourself in another's place and trying to see things from his or her point of view. In most cases, the more respect you show, the more you'll gain in return from teachers, other school staff, classmates, and friends. And I include substitute teachers in that as well. If you show respect, more than likely, they're going to show respect back to you. In the neighborhood is the next paragraph. Oh, I didn't scroll down the page either. Sorry about that. So I just read the part about empathy up here. And then I'm in this section of in the neighborhood. Neighbors show respect by watching out for each other's safety and well-being. They stay informed about community issues. Another way to show respect in your neighborhood is to properly dispose of trash and to recycle glass, newspapers, cans, and plastic products. Courtney shows respect to her neighbors by keeping her stereo volume at a level that doesn't wake up her neighbor's baby. And the last part says respect the environment. I know since a lot of you deer hunt, that's one of the deer that they're talking about. Respect the environment. When you respect the environment, you also show respect to yourself and your family. Everyone's health and well-being are directly related to the health and well-being of the environment, both at home and around the world. Okay, so that takes us to the end of this chapter, and I wanted to do a quick chapter summary. We started out with respect involves showing regard for people, the environment, and yourself. When people show respect and common courtesy to each other, they help make life easier and more positive. Self-respect involves valuing your life and body. You show respect for your community by doing your part to take care of it. To show respect at home, consider the feelings of others, help out, take responsibility for your actions, and follow family rules. Being tactful and emphasizing with others are ways to show and gain respect at home and school. Neighbors show respect when they watch out for each other's safety and well-being. And the last thing I want to remind you of with this chapter, when you respect the health and well-being of the environment, you show respect to yourself and your family. You never know who's watching you, so make sure you show respect to everyone. And that is the chapter about respecting others and yourself.